Hello everyone, my name is Angela Zabel. I am a teacher, coach, and medium. And today I wanted to talk about a subject of children and children born into this new age. And it's a new age of energy. And I know that may be something people may feel and may not feel, but this is really children who are different than we were when we were born. And so I want to get into that a little bit more. The energy of the earth is changing, and I think all of us may realize some of that now. You're feeling a lot of different, there's anger and resentment out there right now. But there's also a different shift in it, if you've noticed, is intuitiveness. And that is so many more people are more intuitive than they ever have been before. So if you look around you and you see people working more in the so-called metaphysical, but really it's just normal life, to tell the truth, and it's just a name people put on it. But what I want you to realize with that is that the children nowadays are growing up where people go to mediums. Look at all the big mediums, big name mediums that are around the world and on national TV and have syndicated talk shows. So think about that. It's now more normal than what it ever has been before. And even for schools, anybody who deals with people, police departments, schools, principals, people even in businesses are being taught intuitiveness. So it's definitely more normal than it ever has been before. Now think about that. The children that are born, that are young children now and children just being born, this is their new normal. So along with that, if that's their new normal, they are already more intuitive now, even as young children, than we probably have even in an older age for us. We gotta work for it. They kind of get it for free. So with that, they're more in tune than what we ever were. And that's a great thing. It's great because they're more in tune to feeling better when they're outside, to feeling better in nature, and they know it. And they just kind of let things slide off their backs a lot of times because it really honestly doesn't bother them as much as it does us. And that's a great thing. But along with that comes other aspects that us as parents, teachers, caregivers are going to realize that they're a little bit different. And maybe a little more, some call it sensitive. I call it more in tuned. They're in tune to everything around us. They're in tune to each other. And they're also in tune to parents, grandparents. They sense that. They pick it up. They sense emotions quicker. They're more in tune emotionally. So now think about that. That also means that they're more in tune to those on the other side. To, if we want to go for spirit guides, people who have passed, because they're more aware, they're more intuitive. So as a parent, when you're watching your kids, grandparent, anything like that, when you're watching young children, and how many of us have had that invisible friend, that friend we had for years as a child? But now the children are realizing that invisible friend is actually a loved one or a guide that's helping them in this life. So that is really bringing a whole new aspect to life. They are sensing, hearing, talking to people who have passed and people who are there helping them. They can tap into that way easier than we ever could in their age. We're getting better now, it took a little bit, but we're getting there. But for them, it's natural. And for people who don't understand that, sometimes they might be talking to their child and going, oh, that's not real, just let that go. When in actuality, it is real, and it is something they are trying to figure out, because we're telling them one thing and yet they're feeling another. And with that, when you have a child who maybe is scared to go to sleep, maybe it says, oh, they hear noises all the time, instead of poo-pooing it and setting it off to the side, think about what that could be meaning to them. What if they've got grandma, grandpa, a family friend that's coming in to say hi with them, to play with them, but they're scared because they just don't understand it. And that's where we, as adults, can come in to help these children to understand that, yes, that is real, but you have control of it. You can set boundaries. Not you, the parent, or the grandparent, or the caregiver. I'm talking about letting the child know that they themselves can set the boundaries. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize. You can tell the child for one thing, let me back up a little bit. Ask the child, when does this happen? What's happening? What are you seeing? Are you hearing things? What are you seeing or hearing, and what times do they happen at? So then you can ask the child, what makes you comfortable and what makes you uncomfortable? And when they say, it's comfortable when I'm just playing in the room and it's my regular playtime and I can pretend to be with them and they're really there playing with them. But when they say, but when I go to bed or I turn the light off, I get scared because I can still see or sense people are with me. It feels like someone's in the room. And that's where you come in. Because that's when you can say, they can only visit you when you tell them it's okay. So you can talk to them and say, you know what, Grandma and Grandpa? You can't come to visit me at night when the light's off. But if I'm playing with my toys, you can join me. And then I'll be happy to have you there. And then the spirits on the other side, they respect that. Because they respect your boundaries. But you have to be clear and let them know and say, it makes me nervous, it makes me a little scared. And then they'll back off. And they'll come at the time you ask them to. I have to do the same thing when I'm doing readings, because they'll come in as soon as people set up the appointment. I've got them there. They're so excited that they can talk. But I have to tell them, I know you're excited, but go hang out with your relatives and then be here when it's time for the reading. Because that's when I need you here. I don't need you here before. Until then, you can go spend time with your family. And that's what the children have to learn to do, is to say, you know what? I love playing with you, but I don't like it when I'm sleeping. I don't like it in the middle of the night. And who would? Do you want to be woke up in the middle of the night? Because it happens, but they don't know that they can say no. And that's the thing. All of us, even adults, you don't have to have people coming in that are in spirit and bothering you in the middle of the night. You can tell them that they can't do that. You can give them a time frame and they'll follow it. But you're the one that has to set that boundary. So think about that, and think about having open conversations with your children. That when they're seeing and hearing things, ask them about it. What are they seeing? What are they hearing? Well, how do they feel? Talk to them. Make it a normal thing. And then gently say, well, you can tell them when to come here, just as you can tell a friend. You can come over at 5 o'clock, but you have to leave by 7. It's the same. They are humans, not humans. They are people in spirit, just the same as we are human. But they'll listen to our rules, our boundaries. And then it makes everything a more constructive time to be together. And they'll help and learn and help guide. So with that, if any of you have questions or comments about this video, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to go over them, I'd love to answer them, and maybe I'd make another video on what your comments are. So with that, I hope all of you like, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload the next video. And you can check out my website at angelazabel.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm usually on there 3 to 4 times a week. And with that, I hope all of you have an amazing day.